It is very addicting, so I'm thinking that's probably why people call it Christmas crack. It's really, really good. Welcome, Flavor Crew. Today I thought I would make a sweet treat since we're at the holiday time and a lot of people are being asked to bring something along when they go to a family get-together or meeting with friends. So the sweet treat I'm going to make, it's really simple and it's got a funny name. Some people like to call it Christmas crack. Now, you can call it that if you want. I've also heard it called Brickle, but it is very addicting, so I'm thinking that's probably why people call it Christmas crack. It's really, really good. And it's pretty simple. There's not a lot of ingredients, and I think even if you're a beginner, this is so easy to make, and you'll be surprised at the response that you get from everyone who tries it. It's so yummy. So let's start right off. Let me tell you the ingredients. Like I said, it's really simple. You need a cup of brown sugar. You can use light or dark, doesn't matter. You need a cup of butter, which is 2 sticks of butter. And you can use salted or unsalted, either's fine. You need a bag of chocolate chips. I got semi-sweet. I normally lean towards dark chocolate. I love dark chocolate, but you can use semi-sweet. You can use milk chocolate. I haven't used white chocolate, but I don't see why you couldn't. And normally you can use the whole bag, which is 2 cups normally in a bag of chocolate chips. I normally use about 1.5 cups, but it's up to you if you like more chocolate. And then we've got added toppings. So if you want some nuts on it or sprinkles, there's so many different things. Ooh, toasted coconut, that would be awesome. And if you just like it plain, you don't have to add any nuts. And then you need a sleeve of crackers. Now, I've not done it where I didn't need more than that. I just normally, but I have more crackers if I need. But normally 1 sleeve works perfect for my cookie sheet. And I measured my cookie sheet just in case someone wanted to know. It is 10 inches by 15 inches. I think it's standard, pretty much standard. And then I also have a teaspoon of vanilla. Now, that is optional. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. I think it gives a little extra oomph. I like the flavor, but I've done it without and it tastes just as great. So to start off, what we need to do is preheat the oven. And we're going to preheat the oven for 350. Okay, so while our oven is preheating, let's get our pan ready. And what we need to do is we're going to wrap the pan in aluminum foil. My aluminum foil is super duper thin. So if you have heavy aluminum foil, you only need to wrap it once. I'm going to wrap mine twice because I don't want it to get holes in it, and it's very possible with it being this thin. So you want to go across a little bit. You want to push it down in the corners, but you want to really try not to poke holes in it. Not only is this going to make for super easy cleanup, it's going to make it so it doesn't stick to the pan once it's cooked. And you want to make sure you're pressing on the edges because the crackers are going to sit down in there, and then once we get the toffee in there and the chocolate, it's going to raise up a little. Oh, and I guess I should have said it. When you're using a cookie sheet, make sure you're using a cookie sheet that has ledges. If you use a flat one, it's not going to work. Your ingredients are going to go right off the edge. So you need one that has ledges around there. Okay, one more time on the aluminum foil. It actually covered pretty well, but like I said, this stuff is so thin. We want to be double sure. And you'll be happy when we get to the end because cleanup is super easy. Okay, make sure you kind of get in those corners too. Try not to poke a hole. All right, not perfect, but it's good. Next, we're gonna open up our sleeve of crackers. I've heard there's like 40 crackers in each sleeve. I don't know if that's accurate or not. And different crackers are different sizes. So I bought the store brand of crackers this time instead of a name brand. And I noticed when I did the last time I made the crackle that the crackers, they didn't fill it up exactly like the other one. The other one filled it from edge to edge, and I didn't have to adjust a cracker at all. And on these, they don't go all the way across, but what you're doing is you're not, you're just lining them up next to each other. And normally I like to face the crackers up with the side that has the salt on it, if you get cracker with salt on it and not the bottom. I don't know if that really makes a difference, but that's what I normally do. All right, this is looking good. So I'm not gonna have exactly enough. I do have another sleeve, but I'm gonna break these and fill in the spot. I need a couple more crackers. So let me do these first. Okay, just a partial cracker to fill the space. The extra pieces I will eat. It is a little messy. Clean that up after. And I need to grab another sleeve of crackers. I have another sleeve of crackers. First time I've had to use another one. Because it's not an even half there, I'm just gonna use 3 whole crackers. And actually, look at this. These 2 are broken and I can make use of that break. There's the one. See how that popped up? You're probably gonna get some of that. Maybe I made that one too big. Yeah, that one will fit there. I'll make that a little smaller. You don't want them to overlap. Okay. There, that works better. Now that we have our crackers all lined up, what we need to do is make the toffee portion of it. That's on the stove, obviously. So you want to take your butter and your brown sugar, and you're going to put it in a saucepan. And we're going to put that on medium heat, medium-high heat. We're going to get the butter melted and the sugar melted into the butter. Once it comes to a boil, you're going to want to set a timer for 5 minutes. And while that is boiling for 5 minutes, you want to make sure you're stirring it frequently. And it's at some point going to look a little foamy, and I'll show you that when we get there. And that's what we're looking for. And the reason we're stirring it is we don't want it to burn. And then let's put in that brown sugar. Now you can just use a regular spoon or you can use a wooden spoon. Do not put the vanilla in until we're at the next part. Just hold it there to the side. Let me get my burner on. Now, like I said, once this is melted, which will take a little bit of time, then we're gonna boil it for 5 minutes. And it's gonna make a beautiful toffee. Now, if you could have started out with already softened butter, it would make this process go a lot faster. But I didn't think to do that ahead of time. So just keep mixing it and mixing it. And we'll come back once I'm at the boil and show you what's going on. So we almost have the butter completely incorporated into the brown sugar. You can see how the mixture is pretty thick already, which looks beautiful. The color is lovely. And now we just have to watch and wait for it to start boiling, and then we're gonna set that timer for 5 minutes. Just started boiling. Oops. I'm gonna set my timer for 5 minutes and continuously stir this. And then I'll show you what it looks like at the 5 minute point, unless it gets there faster, and then I will let you see what that looks like. You may want to turn it down a little bit also, but you don't want to lose your boil. Our timer just went off. The toffee looks great. At this point, I'm going to add that teaspoon of vanilla to get it mixed in there. You want to make sure you're stirring. Now this part we need to do fairly quickly. So we're gonna go back over to the table and pour this over the crackers. All right. You can see I'm just gonna make a level amount, pour this over the crackers, and then we'll spread it more evenly. It's gonna get hard fairly quickly, so that's why I was saying this is a step that you'll need to go fairly quickly. And try to make it so that your crackers don't lift up. Don't burn yourself. It is very hot. It will also spread while it's cooking in the oven, but we want to spread as much as we can ahead of time. See, my crackers are lifting. Don't panic if your crackers lift. It's okay. One of the things Brad realized while I was cooking the toffee part was, I mentioned it, but I forgot to do it, was actually spray the bottom of the pan before putting the crackers on. We remedied that while the toffee was cooking, and I did spray it. Okay, they're not covered all the way, but pretty good. We're gonna go put in the oven now for 5 minutes. The oven did beep, it's preheated. I have it on the center rack. Put it in, and we're gonna do a timer for 5 minutes. This is what it looks like coming out of the oven. You can see the toffee didn't go over this a little bit. I'm gonna just push it over there right now so it's covered. Now you want to get your chocolate chips next. Open them up and sprinkle them across while it's hot. Like I said earlier, I normally use 1.5 cups. I'm just gonna sprinkle them on. You can use the whole, oops, man overboard. You can use the whole bag if you like. Like I said, I usually just do about 1.5 cups. I'm not measuring because it doesn't have to be super duper, man overboard. Doesn't have to be super exact. Okay, now what we want to do, I think that feels about right. We're going to let it sit for about 2 minutes, see if it looks like the chocolate has started to melt. I might scoot a few of the chips to be touching the toffee so that they have some heat coming up towards it. We'll check at the 2 minute mark, which I'm going to grab my timer and set 2 minutes. If at the 2 minute mark it doesn't look like they're melting, we'll go another 2 minutes. And then if it still doesn't look like they're melting, we'll put it back in the oven, which I did shut off after I took this off, but the heat's still gonna be in there, and then we'll go another minute in the oven. But let's see what happens with that. So while we're waiting for the chocolate to melt, like water to boil, I got a few questions for you. What is your number one go-to candy that you like to make or eat at the holiday? Is it something that you make? Oh goodness. Is it something that a family member makes or a friend? Tell me down in the comments what that is. And if you have a recipe that you think is fantastic, put it in the comments so that I can try it out. And second, do you have a family tradition at the holidays? Like for instance, my husband's family at Christmas time, they would always open their presents on Christmas Eve that was from the family, but on Christmas Day is what they got from Santa. My family wasn't like that, but I always thought that was such a cool tradition that they had. So how about you? Do you have any family traditions that are special? Let me know down in the comments. So it's been 2 minutes, and if you look closely at the chocolate, it has a shininess to it, like it's starting to melt. So I'm gonna take that spoon and I'm gonna test to see if I can spread it. Oh, look at that. That is great. So you just wanna take it and you're gonna spread it across the top. And you're gonna go all over completely the top, which will take care of any spots that didn't get covered to begin with. Well, that's spreading great. I wish, as always, that we had smell-o-vision, because chocolate smells so good. All right, now if you use the whole bag, you're obviously going to have a little bit thicker level of chocolate, which is fine if that's what you like. Now this is a step that's kind of fast too, because it'll start hardening. Now this is where we're going to add any extras that you want to add on it. The nuts, if you want nuts, different candy bars if you want that you chop into pieces, coconut. I am using pecans. That's my favorite. So I am just going to sprinkle it across. And because I just cut some and I want to make sure I'm getting a little bit everywhere, I'm trying to not use it all up in one spot. You could also do this, a combination of different nuts, a combination of all kinds of ingredients. Now that we have the topping on that we want, to get this finished off, we need it to get cold so that everything hardens up. But the pan is very hot because we just took it out of the oven. So we want to make sure that the pan cools off before we put it in our fridge. So that may take about 30 minutes or so. So it's warm to the touch is okay, but this is pretty darn hot. So we're going to set it on the stove for a minute while it cools. Then we're going to put it in the fridge for at least 2 hours so it hardens. And then I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll break it up, and I'll show you how to either put it in a tray to take to a family gathering, or hey, a plate because you want a sweet snack to go after right now for yourself. So see you in a bit. So it's been about 2 hours and 15 minutes. It took about 15 minutes for the pan to cool off enough before I could put it in the fridge. And 2 hours in the fridge, and it's nice and cool all the way through, very firm. So what we're gonna do is remove the aluminum foil, and then we'll break it up and put it in a container, and then we'll do a little taste test. The reason that we sprayed it with the cooking spray is so that it wouldn't stick to the aluminum foil when we take it off. And as you can see, we can pull this right out from the cookie sheet. And your cookie sheet's still clean. I'd still rinse it off before I put it away, but put that down. And you should be able to just peel the sides of the aluminum foil. And it should just peel right up. And then what we're gonna do is just break it into pieces. And put it in a container. If you find when you start to take it apart that maybe it's not all the way hard, you can just put it back in the fridge. So once we get the aluminum foil peeled, we'll check to make sure we don't have any hook to it, because that's easy to get stuck. I mean, we're hoping for the best with the using the cooking spray, but it could always have a spot that sticks. Especially, I know I had a spot in the center of this where it had leaked underneath one of the crackers, so that part might stick. And you probably don't have to be this delicate because we're gonna break it up anyways. So let's turn it over and make sure we don't have, oh, see, we got a piece there, I can tell. Okay, so let's turn it over. You might lose a few of your, ooh, okay, that's stuck in the, there we go. All right. The first time I made this, when I broke it up, it broke into perfect cracker squares. And I thought that was so cool. I thought the next time I made it was gonna do the exact same thing. Not even close, wouldn't break into squares if I tried. And then I just ended up breaking it like a bark into pieces. And I thought it was pretty. And I think that's the way it normally comes out. You're not gonna get perfect squares, you're just gonna get pieces. So you just grab it and pull. And you make the sizes you want. It can be long, short. If you get it one later, you want it smaller. The nice thing about it is that people can break it into smaller pieces if they want. There's no right or wrong. And just continue on. You can buy a nice little container if you're taking it to a get-together. I bought this cute little container. I'm going to bring it out here. A cute little container from the dollar store with a little Christmas gnome on it. And this actually works perfect to keep it. And now that I got it sealed, I might not get it unsealed. Okay, there you go. It's actually a really nice size. And just kind of, oops, throw it on in there and keep breaking it up. I mean, this is actually a lot. So if you're going to a party and there's not a lot of people, you might want to keep some at home for yourself. Last party I took it to, there was none left. None to bring home. But that was okay. I ate plenty while we were there. But like I said, really simple to break it up in the different, and it, you know, this one didn't get any nuts on it. Someone may not want nuts, and they can take that piece. Oh, I wish I could tell you how this smells so good. I think it's the toffee that I'm smelling. Oh, look at the perfect squares. That's okay. Everything else is in pieces now, so I'm just gonna break it up. Again. I actually like it in the pieces. I think it's kind of cool looking. But I can tell this whole thing's gonna break into smaller pieces if I want it to. Well, see how much that is filling up this container? This is a pretty decent sized container, and that is definitely gonna go a long way at a party for sure. At home, it may last a day or two. All right, you can go smaller, bigger, however works for you. It's aluminum foil underneath. You can get a good view of it. You could even get a little cute little holiday plate, and you could put them on a plate. It would be really cute too if you were having people come over, if you didn't want them in a container like this. This would be super cute. So why don't we give this a taste? I'm only going to take a little bit. Oh, that came out very well. The toffee and the chocolate and the nuts. It's perfect. You have to give this recipe a try. If you liked what you saw, please give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this and you enjoyed it, why don't you think about subscribing? And thanks again for watching.